Welcome back. Joining us now with details on the Zach Liberatore Foundation and their upcoming fundraisers are Jennifer and Peter Liberatore from our sponsors at Zach Liberatore Foundation. Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us. Thank you very much.
Jennifer, I'd like you to start off by talking about your son, Zach.
Zach, he was a wonderful boy. He grew up to be an exceptional human. However, by the time he was 16, he was diagnosed with severe OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. By then, it had taken over his life. He even became suicidal. We tried to get him treatment, obviously. It was very difficult back then. It was 2012 to really know where to go. He did have excellent treatment over the years. He did go to Oshai for a while, to their psychiatric clinic. However, he did become suicidal at times, and he also then started to self-medicate. He became addicted to an opioid, and we lost him. He died 4 years ago of an overdose.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. While he was alive, though, he was such a strong advocate for, breaking the stigma of mental health, of talking when you are suffering and speaking out. He was always on social media, posting. He was a very brave human, I think. And so we try to continue that legacy.
That's right. So tell us a little bit more about the Zach Liberatore Foundation and what you guys are raising money for.
Well, that was like Jennifer said. Zach was always about trying to help people. He wanted everybody to come out and know the disease he had. So we decided that we were going to keep his legacy going. Mm-hmm. That's what the Z colon basically said, your story continues.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to OCD and other mental health. We're just trying to raise awareness. We're basically trying. If we can help one child with OCD, mm-hmm. we did our job.
Yeah.
We don't want to ever have a family, parents, to deal with who he did. Mm-hmm. 90% of the proceeds go to Oshai Children's Hospital. We've raised approximately $300,000 in the last 3 years for Oshai, which we're very proud of ourselves.
You should be.
We have a committee team. Me and Jennifer haven't done this by ourselves. We've had a strong committee. The girls, we actually added our third son to our committee. You can't have a fundraiser. You can't have a foundation without help. Mm-hmm. And the women they're incredible. Mm-hmm. Like I always said at our last foundation, the Bills have their team. I know we're a Buffalo town, but I'd take my team over anybody. Yeah. Donations can be made to the ZachLiberatory.com, ZachLiberatoreFoundation.com, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just Zachtoberfest.
For donations.
Yeah.
Our event is going to be October 11th at Wings Meeting Place. It's 3964 California Road, Friday, between 6 to 10.
Okay. Now, Jennifer, you have a new book called You Wonderful Boy. Mm-hmm. What can you tell us about that?
Well, Zach and I wanted to share our story in the hopes of helping other people. I'm hoping that by sharing his story of mental illness and what he went through and what a family goes through, because this can happen to any family, unfortunately, just that other people kind of could identify and not feel alone mm-hmm. in their struggles, and maybe just as importantly is sharing my story of healing after he died. Yeah. I know there are a lot of bereaved parents out there, and just anyone in deep grief. I had incredible spiritual teachers that helped me. So I felt like it was my responsibility to share my story.
Where can people find your book?
It is on Amazon, as well as BarnesandNoble.com, and quite a few Western New York bookstores are carrying it as well.
Mm-hmm. Going into writing a book like this about your own story and your son has to be difficult. Did you expect to find the healing that you and I were discussing that you found beforehand?
I didn't expect it to be that healing. It was extremely difficult at times. It was a labor of love, obviously, but it was definitely cathartic and healing in the end. And I think even for my family, Peter read it, and my sons have read it, and some of our closest friends. And I hope I'm not stepping out of bounds by saying this, but I think it's healing for everyone who reads it to kind of go over the story, mm-hmm, and mm-hmm. It's part of the healing process.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about the fundraiser coming up next week, Peter.
We have DJ Anthony.
We have DJ Anthony will be
Yep.
there. There will be silent auctions, raffle baskets. There will be the doctors at O'Shea actually give us, like I said, for the $100,000 that last year we donated to them, the progress that they're making. The doctors actually give us motivation to keep going because
they do.
they're excited.
Yeah.
They're excited. We're excited. We're actually going to have a young gentleman. He's 14 years old. We met him at the OCD walk. Who's actually going to tell a story and how OSHA is helping them.
Beautiful.
And the only other ways, I know we mentioned Ohio, but we also donate to the Compass House too. The Compass House and what's the...
And O'Shea, we specifically donate to the psychiatric clinic and OCD program. So their outpatient clinic has actually been brought back to life since COVID with our donations,
Right.
which is
So
just
that's what
unbelievable.
keeps us going. That's what keeps us motivated to see, they're making strides and they're happy.
Yeah.
When you have a meeting with like 8 to 9 doctors and they're excited, it gets you excited. So that's why we do.
Well, Peter and Jennifer, thank you so much for, one, being brave enough to share your story and the continuous work that you're doing in our community and helping others along their journey.
Thank you.
Viewers, if you would like to help support our sponsors at the Liberatore Foundation, you can go to their Zachtoberfest event on October 11th or buy their new book, You Wonderful Boy, through Amazon or visit their website at zachliberatory.com. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.